Welcome to Ratios. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about ratios. What is a ratio, you might ask? A ratio basically compares the quantity of two things. Those two things could be number of people, could be money, could be units, I don't know. But it has to be two things, and two things only, not three things, not four things. Let me explain what I mean. Let's take this simple example. Imagine yourself in a classroom, okay? You're sitting in a classroom. And in that classroom you have 14 boys and let's say 7 girls. Okay? Now my question to you is, what is the ratio of boys to girls? Okay, and this is how ratio questions are, by the way. You will always, and I insist on always, see the word ratio in there. If you do not see the word ratio in the question, it is not a ratio question, okay? So it has to have the word ratio. Also, the question will have ratio of something to something. So you need to see the word to. Okay? The second thing I want you to notice is the order in which the words come in. Which one comes first? Boys comes first and girls come second. Okay? So this is very, very important, because if you've switched them around, your answer is completely wrong. And I'm going to show you what I mean by this when we get to the practice questions. Okay? Alright, so let's solve this problem, I should say. Okay, so when I say boys to girls, in this problem, how many boys do I have? 14. So you're going to write 14 right underneath. So first of all, write your words up there. And right underneath, put your numbers so you don't get confused, okay? So 14 boys, how many girls do you have? 7 girls. Okay? Now, very good. Now, that's out of the way. Here is what I want you to do. There are 3 ways you could write your ratios, okay? And all of them are correct. Whichever way you choose to do it is correct, okay? You could put it as 14 to 7, or you could put it as 14 2 dots 7, and those are called columns. And you could also put it as 14 to 7 as in fraction. But notice how boys comes first and girls come second. So in all 3 cases, we respect the order in which they come in. Now, this is interesting, because if I can write it as a fraction, that means I can simplify it, right? So you have to simplify it. 14 and 7, how can I simplify that? You simplify by 7, and you simplify by 7. So it leaves you with 2 on top and 1 at the bottom. Now, the misconception here is, people think that if it's 2 over 1, it means it's 2. Final answer, no, but I'm going to need both numbers. So you cannot get rid of the 1 at the bottom. So you're going to keep that 1 also. So your final answer is 2 to 1. And here is how you write it. 2 to 1. Okay? So first of all, see the order in which the words come in, then replace those words with numbers, and write the numbers as fraction, and then simplify, and you get to this. What does this mean? If you look at the problem at first, we had 14 boys, and we had 7 girls. It means for every 2 boys in the classroom, you have 1 girl. And it means it's double the number, right? And if you see 14 and 7, 14 is double 7. So that's what it means. This is what we mean by ratio. In other words, if you go to the classroom, for every 2 boys, you have a matching 1 girl. And that's what ratio means. So again, we compare 2 things. In this case, we're comparing the quantity of boys and the quantity of girls, okay? Another tricky question I want to discuss here before we move ahead with with the word problems or the practice questions on page 263 is this, and you really need to pay attention to the question, guys, okay? My question to you in this case is, what is the ratio of boys to total students? This is a very good question. Now, what's your first one? Boys. And what's your second one? Total students. Now, did I tell you what the total students is? No. That's something you need to figure out. Obviously, if you have 7 girls in there and 14 boys in there, what's the total students you have? 21. So that's an extra step you need to figure out, okay? So your total students is 21. They won't tell you this, so that's something you need to think about. Okay, so the ratio questions are not that boring, straightforward. Sometimes you're going to have to go the extra mile and figure out the missing piece. Now, how many boys do you have in this case? It's 14. Okay, so the answer is 14 to 21, but again, I can write it 3 ways, right? So I can write it as 14, 2 dots, 21, and also 14 to 21. Again, if it looks like a fraction, that's because it is. We need to simplify. In this case, I can simplify by 7, and I can simplify by 7. It leaves me with 2 at top, and 21 by 7 leaves me with 3. Okay? So my final answer is 2 to 3. And this is what it means. For every 2 boys in the classroom, the matching number is 3 students. That includes girls in there. Okay? So that's how it is. We're going to get more practice as we get to do the word problems.